Long before anyone imagined the towering skyline of Dubai, the land was nothing but endless sand dunes meeting the calm blue waters of the Arabian Gulf. Life was simple, harsh, and unforgiving. The desert offered little, but the people who lived there were resilient. They relied on the gifts of the sea, fishing in wooden dhows, collecting pearls from deep waters, and trading whatever they could with passing merchants. At the heart of this small settlement was the Dubai Creek, a natural inlet that became the lifeline of the people. Along its shores, fishermen repaired their nets, merchants unloaded their cargo, and children watched the wooden boats come and go. The creek was more than just water, it was the foundation on which the identity of Dubai was built. Without it, survival in such a barren land would have been impossible. In the early 19th century, the region was divided among tribal families, each struggling to protect their people and resources. In 1833, history changed when the Al Maktoum family led about 800 members of the Bani Yas tribe to settle by the creek. They chose Dubai as their home, and from that moment on, the ruling family began shaping the destiny of the settlement. Sheikh Maktoum bin Bati, their leader, became the founder of modern Dubai, ensuring peace, stability, and protection for traders who wished to anchor their ships along the shores. Dubai was still a tiny village at that time, but it held an advantage many others lacked: its open and welcoming spirit. While other towns closed their gates to outsiders, Dubai invited merchants from India, Persia, and East Africa. Traders brought with them spices, silk, pottery, and gold, and in return they carried back pearls, dates, and fish. This openness made Dubai a trusted marketplace in the Gulf, even when its population was small and its resources limited. The people lived humble lives. Homes were made from palm fronds, and during the hot summers, families would move inland to the desert or to the coast in search of cooler winds. Daily life was hard. There was no electricity, no running water, and food was scarce. But there was also a strong sense of community. Everyone worked together, bound by tradition and the belief that survival depended on unity. Though small and fragile, Dubai began to show signs of ambition. The Al Maktoum rulers understood that their land had no rich farmlands, no mountains, and no resources to compare with other regions. But they also knew that trade could be their strength. By keeping the doors open to foreigners, by protecting traders and welcoming sailors, Dubai slowly began to earn a reputation as a safe harbor in a world of uncertainty. This was the first chapter of Dubai's remarkable journey, a village in the desert, clinging to survival, guided by its creek, and ruled by leaders with vision. No one could have predicted then that this tiny settlement would one day grow into a city that astonishes the world. As the 19th century moved into the early 20th, Dubai began to experience its first taste of prosperity. The source of this wealth was not oil, nor gold, nor trade in modern goods, it was the shimmering pearls of the Arabian Gulf. For centuries, men of Dubai and the surrounding emirates had dived into the deep waters in search of these precious treasures. By the early 1900s, pearling became the backbone of Dubai's economy. Each summer, hundreds of men would set out in wooden dhows for long months at sea. With nothing but nose clips, stone weights, and their courage, pearl divers plunged into the dark depths, holding their breath as they searched the seabed. The work was brutal. Many lost their lives to drowning, illness, or exhaustion, but the rewards were worth it. A single perfect pearl could feed a family for months. For a brief time, Dubai thrived. Merchants filled the souks with pearls that attracted buyers from India, Persia, and even Europe. Wealth trickled into the settlement, and the people began to dream of a brighter future. The creek bustled with activity, dhows arriving full of goods and leaving with pearls bound for distant shores. Dubai had become a recognized center of the pearling industry, and its people held their heads high. But fate had other plans. In the 1930s, two great storms struck the people of Dubai. The first was economic. The Great Depression swept across the world, cutting demand for luxury goods. Pearls, once seen as symbols of wealth, were suddenly unwanted. The second storm was technological. Far away in Japan, scientists had developed a method to cultivate pearls artificially. These cultured pearls flooded the global market, cheaper and more abundant than the natural ones harvested in the Gulf. Almost overnight, Dubai's pearling economy collapsed. Families who once depended on the sea found themselves with nothing. The dhows stood idle along the creek, and hunger spread across the settlement. The desert was unforgiving, and there were no farms or resources to fall back on. Many people left, searching for opportunities elsewhere, while those who stayed endured years of hardship. It was in this time of struggle that Dubai's resilience truly showed. The ruling family, led by Sheikh Saeed bin Maktoum, understood that survival meant adaptability. He encouraged trade beyond pearls, inviting more merchants from India, Persia, and the wider Arab world. Dubai's position as a natural port became its lifeline once again. Indian traders in particular began to settle in Dubai, bringing textiles, rice, spices, and currency exchange. Even in the darkest years, the marketplace in Dubai's souks still buzzed, though at a slower rhythm. The collapse of the pearling industry was a painful chapter, but it also became a turning point. Dubai learned an important lesson, that relying on a single source of income could be dangerous. This awareness would later shape the vision of its leaders when oil was discovered, ensuring that Dubai would never again allow its future to depend on only one treasure. From hardship and loss came wisdom, resilience, and the seeds of ambition. The pearl trade had given Dubai its first glimpse of wealth, but its collapse taught Dubai the importance of diversity, openness, and adaptability, qualities that would guide its journey into the modern age. By the mid-20th century, Dubai was still a modest town clinging to survival. Its people had endured the collapse of the pearl industry and the hardships of poverty, but the settlement remained alive thanks to trade and the resilience of its leaders. It was during this critical time, in 1958, that a man of extraordinary vision stepped forward to guide Dubai, Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum. Unlike many who ruled in the Gulf, Sheikh Rashid was not content to simply wait for resources to appear. He understood that Dubai could not rely on tradition alone, it needed modernization. The remarkable part of his vision was that he began to build before Dubai had wealth. In an era when the town still had sand-covered streets and houses made of palm fronds, Sheikh Rashid dreamed of roads, schools, hospitals, and even an airport. His boldest move was to dredge Dubai Creek. For centuries, the creek had been the lifeline of trade, but it was too shallow for large ships. Merchants feared losing business to neighboring ports like Sharjah. Despite limited funds, Sheikh Rashid ordered the creek to be widened and deepened, allowing larger vessels to dock. Many thought it was a reckless gamble, but the gamble paid off. Within years, Dubai's trade flourished as bigger ships brought goods directly into its heart. In the 1960s, fortune finally smiled on Dubai. In 1966, oil was discovered in its territory. Though the reserves were not as vast as in Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia, they were significant enough to change Dubai's destiny. Sheikh Rashid, however, made a decision that would set Dubai apart from other oil-rich states. Instead of depending solely on oil revenues, he saw oil as a tool, not the foundation. He believed oil wealth should be used to build infrastructure, diversify the economy, and invest in trade and services. With oil money, Sheikh Rashid accelerated Dubai's transformation. Roads were paved, modern schools and hospitals were built, and the Dubai International Airport opened in 1960, soon becoming one of the busiest in the region. Electricity and clean water systems were introduced, improving the daily lives of ordinary people. Slowly, Dubai began to shift from a dusty settlement into a modern town. Foreign businesses noticed. By the late 1960s, Dubai's openness to trade, combined with its modernizing facilities, attracted companies from across the globe. Merchants from India, Iran, and the West brought investments, helping the economy grow beyond oil. The world was beginning to recognize Dubai not just as a fishing village or trading outpost, but as a city with ambition. Sheikh Rashid's vision stretched further. He often said, "My grandfather rode a camel, my father rode a camel, I drive a Mercedes, my son drives a Land Rover, his son will drive a Land Rover, but his son will ride a camel." This reflected his awareness that oil would not last forever. He prepared for a day when Dubai's survival would depend on innovation and diversification, not natural resources. The discovery of oil was the spark, but the true transformation came from leadership. Under Sheikh Rashid, Dubai learned how to turn opportunity into progress, and how to invest wealth in ways that would outlast oil itself. This was the dawn of a new era, the beginning of Dubai's remarkable rise from a small Gulf town into a city that would soon capture the world's imagination. The year 1971 was a turning point not only for Dubai, but for the entire Arabian Gulf. For centuries, The region had been known to outsiders as the Trucial States, a collection of small sheikdoms that had signed peace treaties with the British in the 19th century. Britain provided protection of the seas in exchange for control over foreign relations. But by the late 1960s, the British government announced it would withdraw from the Gulf. Suddenly, the small states were left with a question of survival. Would they stand alone, or unite? Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan of Abu Dhabi and Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum of Dubai stepped forward with a vision of unity. They recognized that together, the Emirates could be stronger, more secure, and better able to prosper in a rapidly changing world. Negotiations were long and delicate, but out of these talks emerged the idea of a federation. On December 2, 1971, history was made. The rulers of 6 Emirates, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, Ajman, Al Quwain, and Fujairah, signed the agreement to form the United Arab Emirates (UAE). A year later, Ras Al Khaimah joined as the 7th Emirate. For the first time, the fragmented Gulf states had come together as a single nation, with Sheikh Zayed as president and Sheikh Rashid as vice president. For Dubai, this new union opened even greater opportunities. While Abu Dhabi's vast oil reserves provided the financial backbone of the federation, Dubai positioned itself as the commercial heart. Sheikh Rashid wasted no time in ensuring Dubai's place as a hub of trade and business. With oil revenues still flowing, he continued investing in infrastructure, expanding the port facilities, improving the airport, and planning for free trade zones that would attract international companies. One of Sheikh Rashid's most visionary projects was the creation of Port Rashid and later Jebel Ali Port. Jebel Ali, completed in 1979, became the largest man-made harbor in the world and a critical link for global shipping. Alongside it, Sheikh Rashid established the Jebel Ali Free Zone (JAFZA), offering tax exemptions and full ownership rights to foreign businesses. This bold move was revolutionary. It made Dubai one of the most business-friendly destinations in the Middle East, decades before globalization became a worldwide trend. While trade and shipping boomed, Dubai also began shaping its identity as a modern city. Schools expanded, healthcare improved, and new neighborhoods rose from the sand. The creek, once the lifeline of pearl divers and fishermen, now stood beside modern buildings, offices, and bustling souks. Dubai's reputation as a safe, stable, and welcoming hub grew rapidly, attracting not only merchants but also workers from South Asia and beyond. The birth of the UAE gave Dubai something it had always lacked: stability and security on the global stage. No longer a small, vulnerable settlement under British protection, Dubai was now part of a nation with shared defense, governance, and ambition. This unity allowed Dubai to dream bigger, to take risks, and to shape a future that extended far beyond the limitations of its past. From the signing of the Union in 1971, Dubai carried forward a dual role: a loyal partner within the Federation and a bold pioneer in trade, development, and innovation. The stage was set for its transformation from a desert town into a global icon. By the late 20th century, Dubai had already laid the foundations of a modern city. The creek had been widened, ports had been built, and free trade zones were attracting businesses from all over the world. Yet Dubai's leaders were not satisfied. They understood that oil reserves in Dubai were limited and would eventually run dry. To survive, Dubai needed to reinvent itself as something much greater than a trading port. Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum began this journey, but it was under his son, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who became ruler in 2006, that Dubai's transformation truly accelerated. Sheikh Mohammed carried the same vision his father had, but with even bolder ambition. He wanted Dubai to stand on the world stage, not just as a Gulf city, but as a global capital of tourism, business, and innovation. The 1990s and 2000s marked the beginning of Dubai's most iconic projects. First came the Burj Al Arab, the sail-shaped hotel on its own island, symbolizing luxury and architectural daring. Then came the Palm Jumeirah, an artificial island shaped like a palm tree, visible from space and home to resorts and villas unlike anything the world had seen. But the crown jewel of Dubai's ambition was the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, piercing the sky at over 800 meters. Completed in 2010, it became a global symbol of Dubai's rise from desert sands to unimaginable heights. At the same time, Dubai invested heavily in aviation and logistics. Emirates Airline, launched in 1985, became one of the world's leading carriers, connecting east and west through Dubai International Airport. The airport itself grew into one of the busiest in the world, handling millions of passengers each year. Jebel Ali Port expanded into a super hub, making Dubai the beating heart of trade for the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. But Dubai wasn't only about business, it was about experience. Shopping malls like the Mall of the Emirates with its indoor ski slope and Dubai Mall, the world's largest, turned the city into a playground for tourists. Festivals, luxury resorts, theme parks, and entertainment districts followed, ensuring that Dubai would remain on every traveler's bucket list. Of course, this meteoric rise was not without challenges. The 2008 global financial crisis hit Dubai hard, particularly its real estate sector. Projects slowed, debt piled up, and many predicted that Dubai's dream would collapse. Yet, with support from Abu Dhabi and its own determination, Dubai weathered the storm and bounced back stronger, proving its resilience to the world. In 2021, despite the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, Dubai hosted the long-awaited Expo 2020, showcasing innovation, culture, and progress on a global stage. The event drew millions of visitors and cemented Dubai's reputation as a city that doesn't just adapt to change, it leads it. Today, Dubai stands as a symbol of possibility. In less than 60 years, it has transformed from a village of fishermen and pearl divers into a city of skyscrapers, luxury, and opportunity. Its skyline tells a story of ambition, its diversity reflects its openness to the world, and its resilience ensures that it continues to shine no matter the challenge. From sand to skyline, Dubai's journey is a reminder that vision, leadership, and determination can turn even the harshest desert into a beacon for the future.